Do not let anybody tell you to ignore NFL preseason action. Hey, we've always thought there are better angles to find in preseason, especially the last week of preseason, and a lot of veteran handicappers share that idea with us. Skip preseason if you're trying to lay regular season angles and analysis over it. This is different. It's the August League. There's different angles to look at, and we've got something we want to look at here on Friday night up in Baltimore as the Beltway battle takes place. The Commanders up against the Ravens. We'll be talking about what we like in that game in just a moment. First of all, though, a couple of quick housekeeping reminders. As always, don't forget, click that subscribe button on your screen right there. Make sure you get all of our WagerTalk TV videos. Also, big football weekend coming up here besides this Ravens Commanders. And I've got a couple of 5% plays going. First of all, Friday night, NFL preseason action. Hey, we closed last week really hot in preseason. Won our last 3 preseason games last weekend. Got a special 5% play going here on Friday night. And we're following it up on Saturday. Week 0 college football. Hey, we got our first 5% top choice going in Saturday, week 0 college football action. It's all up there right now at my site at WagerTalk. Okay, let's talk about this matchup. Like I said, the Battle of the Beltway as the Commanders drive 35-40 miles north up into Baltimore, M&T Bank Stadium, right next to Camden Yards there, next to the harbor in Baltimore. And the Ravens play host to the Commanders, as they often do in preseason, as they did at the end of preseason last year as well. Makes sense. These teams are close by. We'll also talk about their midweek scrimmaging in just a second. As you can see, the crawl at the bottom of the screen, we will look at the numbers here tonight. A little bit of fluctuation here. The line has moved a bit into Baltimore's direction. As you can see, there's 3s out there. There's 3.5s out there for Baltimore, probably a few more 3.5s. We wouldn't be surprised to see this number go up a little bit, but do some shopping out there if you want to look at one of the sides here in this game on Friday night. We see 3 and 3.5s out there right now. The total pretty steady at 34.5. Both ways, over and under, about split there. And then if you look at the money line, if you're inclined to go that way, you're going to have to lay about close to 150, maybe a little bit less than that, 146 or so right now on the Ravens. You need to take back on the Commanders, be about a plus 121. So what do we think about this game? By the way, it's a kickoff at 6 p.m. on Friday, and it'll be a TV on NFL Network, so you can watch what goes on in Baltimore. We mentioned that midweek scrimmaging these two teams had. That's when the first teamers got their work. Don't expect to see much of the first teamers here on Friday night. From what we understand and from what the reports, it was pretty much one-way traffic there, favoring the Ravens almost all the way through the scrimmaging up until right at the end. They ran a little 1-minute drill right at the end where the Commanders scored and the Ravens didn't. But the rest of the 2 hours, very much dominated by the Ravens from what we're told. Consistent with some of the concerns we're hearing on the Washington side there about an offensive line that does not seem to be coagulating yet. And with a new coordinator, David Blau, coming in his first year, it's an adjustment period there. Now, a lot of the starters and first stringers are not going to be playing on Friday night, but still, you could tell from the scrimmaging there that the Commanders just don't seem to be in sync right now. And Baltimore really sort of bossed the scrimmage at midweek. Quarterback-wise, Jaden Daniels played some of the scrimmaging midweek. Marcus Mariota is hurting, so he's probably not going to be available Friday. Daniels does not expect to play, so it's going to be deep backups again for Washington. That means Ethan Kalanimakis, most recently at Rutgers, had been at Minnesota before that. Sam Hartman, Wake Forest, and Notre Dame. They'll probably split the snaps here. Kalanimakis seems to have the edge right now in the race for the practice squad spot. Most people expect the Commanders and Dan Quinn to only carry 2 quarterbacks on the regular roster and have one on the practice squad. So we'll see how that shakes out. But last week, it was almost all Kalanimakis and Hartman. Did not manage a touchdown drive against the Lions in Detroit last week. Washington's only a TD came on a defensive score early in the first quarter last week. So they could not get the ball in the end zone last week. And this could be a problem here, especially with the offensive line issues, deep reserves in there, trying to figure out what David Blau is trying to do offensively. It could be a tough go here for the Commanders. Also because they're going up against the Ravens here, who seem to be pretty far along. Now, it's new stuff going on there, too. John Harbaugh has finally moved on. He's up with the Giants right now. And Jesse Minter comes in from the Chargers staff, where he's the defensive coordinator. He's the new head coach. Yeah, it's some new stuff going on with Baltimore too. But keep in mind a couple of things. Under John Harbaugh, this was an outstanding preseason team over the years, and last year they swept their preseason at 3-0 as well. By the way, beat Washington in the last preseason game 30-3 a year ago. But what Minter's got his team doing is really flying on a defense right now. That's his specialty. And they basically, they almost blanked the Eagles in the opener. Philadelphia didn't score until right at the end. The defense was flying around the field. Minnesota in a straight jacket last week. J.J. McCarthy couldn't do anything. The Vikings only 3 points. The Ravens have only allowed 10 points in their 2 preseason games thus far. The defense has been outstanding. Now, offensively, we don't think we'll see Lamar Jackson, probably not even Tyler Huntley on the field for the Ravens. It will probably be a lot of Joe Fagnano, the rookie quarterback from UConn, who hasn't looked all that bad in preseason thus far, completing 37 of 48 passes. Him and Austin Reed, formerly Western Kentucky. The thought is, again, that the Ravens probably only keep 2 on the active roster quarterbacks, Jackson and Huntley. But for the practice squad, it looks like Fagnano's got a chance to get there. Still, not a big offensive effort last week from the Ravens, but the defense was lights out. And that's the theme here of this game. And that's why, if you look at the total, and it's not a big total here, I am not sure Washington's going to dent the dish at all in this game. It looks like another lower scoring game like that Ravens game last week against the Vikings, and like the first week against Philadelphia. These teams have played 2 games each, 4 games combined thus far, and none of their score lines has gotten above 31 points. I don't think this one gets above 34.5 either. This spot in the preseason, this Ravens defense, that looks like a mountain to climb. And my recommendation is under in this game on a Friday night, under 34.5. Commanders and Ravens up in Baltimore. We'll see what happens. Okay, don't forget, as always, if you got a comment for me, click the comment box on the screen. Love to hear from you, as always. And don't forget, we got a couple of 5% top choice plays going in my football picks this weekend. NFL preseason Friday night. Remember, we closed last weekend 3-0 in preseason play. And then Saturday, week 0 college football, 5% top choice. We're getting into the swing of things right away as football action kicks into gear this weekend. And that stuff up there now at my site at WagerTalk. Okay, so until next time, we'll talk some more football. It's a goodbye from me.